Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Soul Whispers Coming Home to You. This is episode 21, Resentment. What are you still carrying? Let's begin by taking one slow breath together, in through the nose and a longer exhale through the mouth. Let whatever you're carrying soften just a little. You are allowed to put some of it down here. My name is Susan, and I'm a certified somatic trauma-informed coach, and the rest of my credentials are in the show notes below. I came to this work through my own healing journey, one that included nearly 4 decades in a relationship that asked more of me than it ever gave back, and a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 27 that made me finally stop and listen. What I discovered changed everything. The body is not working against us. It is speaking for us. And when we give the nervous system the safety, the language, and the tools it's been waiting for, healing becomes possible in ways that may genuinely surprise you. I'm here because my deepest wish is to help the person I used to be, and anyone whose body has been speaking in symptoms while the mind keeps pushing through. Well, if that's you in any form, from any direction, I'm here to offer you the language, the tools, and the reminder that the power to heal has always been inside you. And that is what Soul Whispers is all about. Last episode, we broke a pattern under the full moon in Aquarius. If you did the work, if you ran the submodality shift, if you future paced your new response, if you used your pattern interrupt even once this week, I want you to know that counts. Every single repetition counts. Try something a little quieter, a little more tender, something many of us have been sitting with for years without quite having the language for it, and that would be resentment. For a long time, I did not recognize what I was carrying was resentment. I may have called it tiredness or frustration. I called it just the way things are. Resentment has a particular quality that distinguishes it from other difficult emotions. It's quiet. It does not announce itself dramatically. It builds slowly, almost as if you can't even see it or feel it. It's in the space between what you give and what is returned, in the gap between the effort and the recognition, between the sacrifice and the gratitude that never quite arrives. I remember noticing it for the first time as a specific physical sensation, a heaviness in the chest that was not grief, a tightening that was not anxiety, something closer to the feeling of carrying a very heavy bag for a long, long time and being told by the situation, by the relationship, by your own belief that this was just what love required, that you were not allowed to put it down. Resentment is not a character flaw. It is not bitterness or weakness or ingratitude. It is the honest, faithful, physiological record of what was given without being replenished. It is the body's accounting of the deficit. And it deserves to be heard, not managed away, not spiritually bypassed, not hurried toward forgiveness before it has been fully felt. The moment I gave myself permission to actually feel it, to stop calling it something more acceptable, was one of the most significant moments of my healing. Not because feeling it fixed anything, but because naming it honestly was the first time I had told myself the truth about what I had been living inside. The single most important thing I want you to understand about resentment is this. It is not the problem. It is the signal that a problem has not yet been addressed. Resentment builds in one very specific condition. When we consistently give something, time, energy, care, compliance, forgiveness, the benefit of the doubt, and that giving is not reciprocated, not acknowledged, or is actively taken for granted, over time, the gap between giving and receiving becomes a debt. And the body keeps the ledger even when the mind has decided not to. In emotionally abusive relationships, resentment's almost always universal because the structure of those relationships is designed, however consciously or unconsciously. You give, they receive. You give more, they receive more. And the resentment builds in the gap between what you were giving and what was coming back. The most painful resentments are often the ones we feel toward people we also love. And that combination, love and resentment sitting together, is one of the most confusing and least talked about experiences in the healing community. You are allowed to love someone and resent what they took from you. Both things are true. Both things deserve space. Now, in IFS, resentment is almost always a manager, a part that's been keeping score because it learned at some point that keeping score was the only way to protect the system from giving away more than it could afford. The resentment is not the wound. The resentment is the wound's bodyguard, and underneath it, protected by it, is almost always the grief, the loss of what was hoped for and never arrived, the goodness that was given freely and was not honored. The path through resentment is not to push past it toward forgiveness before it's ready. That is spiritual bypassing, leaping over the feeling in the interest of appearing further along than you are. The path through resentment is to let it be fully felt, to understand what it has been protecting, and then, when the time is genuinely right, to allow it to move. Not forgiveness as a gift to the person who caused harm, forgiveness as a release of what you have been carrying in your own body long enough after they walked out of the room. Now, let's do a little somatic practice. Resentment lives somewhere specific in the body, usually in the chest or the belly, sometimes in the jaw, sometimes as a low-grade heaviness across the whole upper body, like wearing a coat that's slightly too heavy or slightly too small. Before we go into the meditation, take 1 minute to locate where you feel that. So close your eyes and let's take 2 slow, deep breaths in through the nose and a longer exhale out. Now bring to mind the situation or the person or pattern that carries the most resentment right now. You don't need to tell the story, just feel the quality of it. Where does it live in your body? Notice it without judgment, without trying to release it yet. And if you can, place your hand there. And then breathe 3 slow, deep breaths directly into that place. And as you're breathing, say silently in your mind, I see you. I know what you have been keeping score of. And I'm ready to hear what you've been protecting. Now stay with that as we move into the meditation. Just hold that space. Before we say any more about the meditation, I do want to briefly bring up that we are getting close to eclipse season. It is approaching. In astrology, eclipses accelerate what is already in motion. They bring endings and beginnings at a pace that can feel disorienting, but only if you are trying to hold on to what is already releasing itself. If you're willing to let what is ready to go actually go, eclipse season is one of the most clarifying periods of the year. Resentment held past its useful point becomes one of the things that eclipses ask us to release. Not because the resentment was wrong to be there. It wasn't. It was exactly right. It kept the account honestly. It told the truth when everything else was encouraging you to minimize. But at a certain point, carrying the resentment cost more than whatever it was protecting you from. Releasing resentment is not the same as saying what happened was okay. It's not. Releasing resentment is the decision to stop letting what happened continue to take up residence in your body, to stop paying rent on pain that belongs to the past. to reclaim the space in your chest or your belly or your nervous system for something that is actually yours to carry forward. God, the universe, source, the intelligence that wired the capacity for forgiveness and release into every human nervous system, that designed the body to let go as naturally as it takes in. That intelligence is in this season, in this waning moon that is even now moving toward the new, in the approach of the eclipses that are clearing the ground for what comes next. You have carried this faithfully and honestly for a long time, and now the invitation is to begin in your own time, at your own pace, to set some of it down. Not all at once, just enough to breathe a little more freely, just enough to make room. Now let's begin your guided meditation. Find your position, both feet on the floor if you can, and one hand resting on the place where you found resentment in your body. And close your eyes and take in one slow, deep breath and a long, complete exhale. And let whatever you are carrying settle a little more fully. You do not have to hold yourself up right now. Now bring your awareness to the resentment in your body, the heaviness, the tightness, the weight of what has been kept track of. Let it be exactly as large as it actually is. And from the self, from your higher self, from the calm, steady, wise part of you that has always been here, let that higher self speak to it and say, I see you. I know how long you've been keeping this account. I know what you've been tracking and why. And I want you to know you were right. You were telling the truth about what was happening. You were doing your job exactly as you were supposed to. And breathe. Now gently, with genuine curiosity, ask the resentment, what are you protecting underneath? What is the thing you've been keeping safe by keeping score? Let whatever arise, arise. It might be grief. It might be the loss of what you hoped for and did not receive. The goodness you gave that was not honored. It might be the younger part who simply wanted to be chosen consistently without having to earn it every time. Let it all arise and just breathe into it. Notice if you can sense what the resentment's been protecting. And turn toward it now with warmth. And say to that part, whatever it is, I see you. I know what you were hoping for. And the hoping was not wrong. What you wanted was not unreasonable. You deserved it. And I am sorry it did not arrive the way you needed it to. And breathe. Now relax your body even more, and I want to work with your imagination. Without effort, just allow whatever arises. Let the resentment take a form in your mind's eye. Not a story, not a memory, just an image, a color, a shape, a texture, whatever appears naturally. And notice where it sits in relation to you. How close is it? How large? And how heavy does it look? And now, very gently, begin to change one quality of it, just one. Push it a little further away from you, even a few feet. And notice what happens in your body as you do that. Now let the color begin to soften. Whatever intensity it was, picture yourself turning a dial, turning it down just slightly, making it fade, the way old photographs fade in the sunlight. And now, in the space that's been opened between you and it, place one image of what you are moving toward, not away from the past, towards something. A version of yourself with a little more room in your chest, a little more ease in your breath, a little more space where the weight has been heavy. And hold that image and let it be bright and clear and feel it flow through your body as if you are being blessed with this wonderful healing energy vibrating through your entire being, allowing this space to unfold. This is what releasing resentment makes room for. Not forgetting, not pretending, just offering you more space, more breath, more of you available for the life that is actually here. Now go ahead and take 3 slow, deep breaths. And with each exhale, let the image of what you are moving toward become a little more solid, a little more yours, embracing it, feeling it becoming part of you, what you want in your life, what you would love to fill up that space with. And speak this silently to the intelligence that has been with you through every difficult chapter. I'm willing to begin letting this move in my own time, at my own pace. I'm willing. And I'm ready to find out what is waiting in the space where this heaviness has been. And now breathe and take that one final breath all the way in. And as you exhale, allow your body to soften and release what no longer serves you. Letting yourself come back to the present time. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Resentment is one of the most carried and least spoken about experiences in the healing journey. And today you sat with it, honestly, without rushing it towards somewhere else. That is not a small thing. If the meditation brought something up that feels larger than one session can hold, please reach out. This is exactly the kind of material that goes deeper with support. I have left my link and website in the show notes below. Next episode, episode 22, the boundary you keep not saying. Why it feels dangerous in the nervous system and how to begin saying it anyway. A practical one, and one I think many of you have been waiting for. If today names something that's been quietly building for years, This work goes much deeper in one-to-one sessions. Resentment held in the body responds really well to somatic work in EFT and IFS. I do offer those sessions. I had mentioned that already, but it is in the show notes below. You've carried this long enough, so when you're ready, I am happy to work together with you. Before you go, I would love to hear from you. If you would be so kind to leave a comment, give a thumbs up, and share this with one person who's been carrying something they have not yet found the words for. Remember, my friend, you are already home. Love and hugs till next week.